Good evening, and welcome everyone for tonight's game between Old Rochester and Bridgewater Raynham, and to a night where we honor our Bridgewater Raynham senior players. Thank you for joining us tonight and for your support all season long. Before we announce our seniors, we'd like to thank the BR coaching staff for their dedication to the players. Head coach Gus Lopes, assistant coaches Alex Lopes, Max Ahern, and Ed Meany. We truly appreciate your time, investment, and commitment to the boys in this program. And congratulations to you and the players in capturing the Pac-3 Division Championship this past Friday in Barnstable. We'd also like to thank George Reiser, Richard Smith, Vanessa Hunt, and all the student photographers who have taken some fantastic photos during the games this season. Additional thanks goes out to Barrett's Ale House, Emma's Pub and Pizza, and Eddie's Pizza, who have each made generous donations to the program this season. Thank you to BCC TV for being here tonight to televise the match. And finally, we'd like to thank everyone who has donated to our fundraisers, the fans who have showed up to support the team, and to the parents and families of our players. Each of you have played a role this season, so once again, we say thank you. Lastly, before we get to the BR seniors, we'd like to take a moment to recognize the seniors from Old Rochester. Enjoy the remainder of your senior year, and best of luck after graduation. So please give a round of applause for the seniors from Old Rochester. Thank you. And now it's time to honor the 7 senior players from Bridgewater Raynham. These boys have given everything they've had to this program. We couldn't be more proud of them. First up, number 1, escorted by his parents Russ and Leslie, Banks Beckwith. Next up, escorted by his father Cristiano, stepmom Kathy Varela, and sister Chris Mara, senior captain Chris Martins. Next up, escorted by his father Vado, his mother Sarah, stepmom Nati, and his brother Ryan, number 5, Captain Aiden Vieira. right, next up, escorted by his parents, Casey and Kristen, number 7, Kevin Weaver. And now, escorted by his father, John, and his mother, Zerka, number 8, Kazir DePina. And now, escorted by his mother, Jen, and his sister, Angelina, number 10, Captain Anthony Pierce. And last, but certainly not least, escorted by his mother, Tammy, his dad, Derek, and his stepdad, David, number 13, Will Roderick. Finally, I'd like to congratulate both teams in qualifying for their respective MIAA state tournaments that begin next week. Best of luck to both teams. Put your hands together one last time for your BR seniors.
Good evening and welcome to Bridgewater Rainham Regional High School as the BR Trojans boys soccer team takes on the Old Rochester Bulldogs. I'm John Luck alongside Dan Trayer, and you heard before we came on the broadcast a number of seniors getting recognized along with members of their family. Dan, I believe last year you were on the field for that moment. For the players and the families, I'd imagine it's an emotional roller coaster. You had that nice moment at the center of the field, and then all of a sudden, oh yeah, there's a pretty high-powered matchup coming up here between two teams that are playoff bound.
Yeah, definitely. I think one for the players and their families. I mean, it's kind of signifies the end of the season is kind of upon them, and their high school careers are pretty much winding down. Lucky for both teams that they did in fact qualify for the tournament. But yeah, I mean, it's you got to flip the switch pretty quick because the game starts in 5 minutes after that ceremony, and this is a game that both teams want to have to try to improve their standing heading into the tournament.
So for the BR Trojans, they enter tonight's matchup with a record of 13-1-2 in the Division I Boys Soccer Power Rankings, good enough for 8th place in the most recent rankings. Old Rochester, comes in with a record of 11-5-3. They are the number 9 seed if the season were to end today. And for those that have watched some of the BR football games, you know that the rankings, you can go from 8 to 4 or as far down as 12 at the drop of a hat. As we are underway here at the regional on a very misty Wednesday evening, temperature 51 degrees and a real feel of 49. Bridgewater Rainham winning their last 3 matchups as that one gets headed away, contested by number 13, William Roderick of the BR Trojans. Old Rochester starting out in the attacking third. That's going to get kicked away by number 7, Sibley Cassie.
I think both teams tonight going to want to be very conservative in the defensive end, given the fact that it has been raining. The field's wet, so the ball's going to skip. So teams want to be hypersensitive to the ball coming into the back.
Starting goalkeeper for the BR Trojans, Nathan Testa, a junior, as that's a very strong kick. Almost goes to midfield, but again, Old Rochester keeping that pressure, and Testa there to stop things before anything gets going for the Bulldogs early on. BR outscoring their opposition over the last 3 matches 13-4, so offense has not really been an issue for Gus Lopes' squad.
Yeah, the team scored, I think, 58 goals on the season. I think 9 or 10 different goal scorers on the year. So it has definitely been different than years past where goals have been scarce. So a lot of those wins that they have, those 13 wins, have been 2, 3, 4 goal margins, which has certainly helped them in the MIA power rankings.
That last ball headed away by Kevin Weaver. As we can see the mist going left to right, so a good wind as well. Bulldogs throw in, headed, and that one gets knocked away at the last second, and gonna get a
looks like an offsides there, yeah. BR's got to do a better job of marking. That man was standing by himself at the 6-yard line. Luckily for them, he was offsides.
So this will be Banks Beckwith kicking it away toward midfield. But again, that early pressure for the Bulldogs coming into play.
Bridgewater's had this happen in a lot of games this year where they kind of go into a little bit of a lull before they pick it up. So I'm expecting them to turn it around, start gaining some possession pretty soon.
Fighting for possession as that one's going to go back towards Testa. Knocked around and coming around towards the near side. That's Weaver. 2-man game, including now number 10, Anthony Pyers. Trojans defeating Plymouth North their last time out on Monday, 3-1. As again, both these teams are postseason bound, just terms of seeding now as that one gets kicked ahead. Going to be very close here. And tripped up at the very last second. That was Morera on the attack. And kicked back out by number 3 of the Bulldogs, Tyler Porto.
Not surprised it wasn't a call there. Referees certainly at this level are not looking to grant penalty kicks unless it's very obvious. And there's a foul there coming back the other. Oh, not a foul. I thought the ref was going to blow that one dead as well.
Looked like Pyers tried for a hip check, maybe a bit of a sell job, but nonetheless we play on. Kick back to the other end of the field for number 14, Bobby Calder.
Nice steal by Weaver there.
Weaver testing with Foster. Thorell. Trojans retain possession, though, as they had their first real chance at attacking. Number 5, Aiden Vieira on the throw-in here.
So one of the strengths of this Bridgewater team is you've got Kevin Marrera up front, Banks Beckwith and Kevin Weaver on the outside. They really attack with those three players utilizing their speed. So look for a lot of balls up the sideline, a lot of balls in the channels to Kevin Marrera, who's I think scored about 20 goals this season. So
Pyers, and this one's going to be kicked to the near side for Vieira. Vieira slices across as that one goes off of a Bulldogs defender. Nice sliding save there for the starting goalkeeper. Looks like that's going to be Owen Harrington.
Oh, nice play by Anthony there.
Trojans keeping the pressure. That's going to be kicked ahead to Kazir DePina. Back towards midfield for Vieira. Trojans going to ease off here. 34-20 remaining here in the first half. A scoreless match so far. Nice footwork on the far side. That's going to be kicked back to Testa. Okay, our first substitution of the match here for the Bulldogs. Number 14, Bobby Calder, checking out. Looks like number 8, that'd be Sebastian Romig, checking in. Foot race here for the ball along the near side. Kept at midfield by Vieira. Back to Pyers. Pushed ahead.
And that's what I was talking about earlier. You're going to see a lot of those through balls to Banks, Beckwith, and Kevin Weaver looking to attack from the sideline and get crosses in. So been status quo like that all season for the Trojans. That's where a lot of their goals have come from.
As you mentioned, took a little while in the first few minutes to get things going offensively, but Trojans doing a good job keeping in that attacking third. Two-on-one situation. Number 2, Foster wins out for Old Rochester. The Trojans will throw it in.
So this is the last game for Old Rochester before the tournament. They certainly are looking to get some momentum. They're coming off, after beating West Bridgewater on Monday, they had a 4-game winless streak before that. So they need to right the ship and get some momentum before the tournament. And a win against a Division I team would certainly help that.
That was Vieira trying to kick it back in, but kept away by Old Rochester for the moment. As Roderick was trying to apply the pressure. Going to be kicked out.
Looks like we got a foul there pushing the back. So first free kick of the game for the Trojans. Roderick going to serve it from the 35. This really isn't the strength of the Trojans, is the balls in the air. They're more of a put it on the ground and let their speed take over.
That goes off the leg of Foster, who I think got that scouting report you were talking about. So it'll be Martins to throw it in. Kicked inside by Roderick. And that'll go out the backside. Nolan Blanchette, number 6, kicking back for number 3. That's Tyler Porto. Head to 21, Will Lucy. A little bit of keep away there, but looks like by Chris Martin's number 2. Nice footwork there by BR Trojans. That's number 1, Beckwith. And that's going to be kicked over the net by Kevin Weaver.
Dangerous little floater there that the goalie kind of just let go by.
Goalkeeper Harrington has been tested here in the first 10 minutes of action at the regional on BR senior night. Again, Trojans come in with a mark of 13-1-2. Very impressive showing by the seniors and the rest of the squad.
Yeah, what a difference a year makes. We were here last year, and BR was fighting for a spot in the Division I tournament. This year, they qualified for that almost a month ago. And now really have just been playing for seeding. They beat Barnstable on Friday to take home the Pac-3 championship for the first time. So yeah, quite a turnaround from last season.
Weaver turned it over to the Bulldogs. Old Rochester across midfield, but keeping it back in play. That's number 6, Nathan Trayer.
Yeah, BR settled down nicely after that initial 5 minutes where Old Rochester carried the play. So they're starting to really settle in, work the ball through the middle of the field, and start to get some attacking chances.
This is my first time checking out the Trojan soccer team this season. It almost looks like the Trojans just kind of let Old Rochester go through their scripted plays in the football sense, and all of a sudden they said, you know what, we'll take over. 2-on-1 situation there, kick back for DePina. Aiden Vieira. Settling things down here. Here's Pyers. And there's maybe where that slick turf came into play as Beckwith tried to make a sliding kick, but ended up just oversliding the ball.
Yeah, a little too much pace on that ball from Anthony. One difference this year you'll notice, Bridgewater does not sub as much as they have in years past. They pretty much will run this at probably a 13 or 14 player turnout there. In years past they'd probably go 17, 18 people deep, and it's just not the case this year. He's kept the bench tight, kept his core players on the field, and I think that's helped produce some of those 13 wins.
And we talked before the broadcast. Last year, I think Gus Lopes had all his seniors start off, but they weren't starters. This year, you were mentioning 6 of the 7 seniors are starters on this squad. As again, Harrington will have to slide into danger to make the stop.
Yeah, I think last year, they had maybe 10 or 11 seniors. So, yeah, players who weren't used to starting started the game last year. This year, 6 of the 7 seniors are starters, so it's really just DePina who came on to get a start here on senior night.
Visitors back the other way. And nice chase there by Chris Martins, at the very least containing the pressure that was about to come in. Nice turnout here for senior night. Again, a pretty chilly evening and the mist pouring down as that one's kicked ahead. Weaver trying to make a play for it, but again, Harrington has to throw caution to the wind and had a almost direct impact there by Kevin Weaver.
No, the ball looked like it almost stopped there as it was rolling towards Weaver. Had it kept going at that pace, he might have been in alone on the goalie.
Weaver keeps it alive, kicking it ahead for Vieira.
Yeah, so Vieira starting at the left back position tonight because of DePina starting. Normally Vieira starts in the center midfield and Will Zaffron starts on the left, but due to senior night, Kazier's in the middle and Aiden's on the left. Good run there by him up the sideline.
Here's Pyers. Kicking into, looks like that's number 9. That'd be Marrero. Pyers trying to break free. That bounces off of a defender and into the gloves of the goalkeeper. Some nice looks early on for the Trojans. At some point, you feel like Harrington's luck is just going to run out, and some of these shots are going to go in.
Yeah, they keep attacking, keep softening up that defense, and like you said, they're going to get a chance, and they're going to get one sooner or later.
Kicked away by Porto. Pyers making a play.
Yeah, a little friendly rivalry in this game. Tyler Porto of Old Rochester is an off-season teammate of a number of the Trojans at the club level. So a little friendly rivalry here for this game. Last year, Old Rochester got the better of BR, so they're looking for a little revenge this season.
Anything that helps with the energy of a match.
Absolutely. The trash talking was starting over text earlier this week. So a good run by Kevin Marrero there. Just won him a corner.
So Trojans should have their best look of the evening so far. Looks like this is going to be Roderick. That'll be kicking it in.
Yeah, Will handles most of the set piece situations, most of the free kicks, most of the corners in the offensive end.
From the darkness, kicks it back in and kept alive by the Trojans, but again, Harrington. A diving play, oddly enough, into the end zone, but keeping this a scoreless match so far with 23:30 remaining in the first.
Looks like the ref's going to flag one of the Trojans for a foul there. I didn't really see much 50-50 ball in the air, and apparently this ref doesn't like any contact whatsoever.
Number 11, Garrett Ignacio bringing it up for the Bulldogs. Kicked ahead, Ignacio. And the ball here within 3 Trojans.
Oh,
Roderick
well done.
kicking it away. As Weaver will send it deep.
No!
And that's a goal!
Beckwith coming in, beat the defender. The defender, I think, thought the goalie was coming out, and Beckwith got there first and buries it for the Trojans. What a huge first goal.
Felt like for most of the first few minutes of this match here, Owen Harrington was playing with fire, and at some point the Bulldogs got burnt.
Yeah, I think Tyler Porto thought the goalie was coming out to get it, and it looked like the ball stopped rolling towards the goalie box, and Banks just kept running. Great job, first touch, fired it in the bottom corner. Huge goal for the Trojans. Like you said, all that pressure was they were bound to get one. So great finish by Banks. He's got to be over 10 goals, at least over 10 goals this season.
So 17-13 into the first half. Banks Beckwith with the opening tally. One of the 7 seniors on this Trojan squad. Old Rochester looking to answer back here. Ignacio loses that one, and Trojans will clear out.
Good job by Kazier DePina there. He lost possession of the ball, but fought back for it. Another dangerous cross.
Weaver goes for the cross pass, looking for Beckwith, looking for his second score early on. Kneed away by Tyler Porto.
Looks like we're going to get another corner. It'll be interesting to see if BR gets another goal or two to see how Old Rochester plays this, knowing that, a loss to BR, Division One BR isn't going to hurt them that much in the rankings, but you also don't want to pick up any injuries ahead of the tournament that starts early next week.
Here's a shot inside as that one's going to go to the right by Morera. If you're just joining us, most of this match so far has been in the attacking end for the BR Trojans. Literally the first 4 or 5 minutes was the only shot Old Rochester had. Coming up on 21 minutes remaining here in the opening half. As we get a whistle.
Be a throw in for the Trojans. Looks like that ball, Grady Oliveira going up the left side, looks like that ball ran out of bounds on him. You mentioned tonight being senior night. I look around at the crowd. I see a lot of ex-players, players who played here the last couple of years, probably seeing this team for the first time. You know, you check the computer and you see Bridgewater's 13-1-2, and after the past few seasons that they have, you probably were stunned to see that. But these kids want to come out and see their ex-teammates and see the program do well. So great to see some of the ex-players coming back.
As that one rolls into the hands of Nathan Testa, the starting goalkeeper for the BR Trojans. And just to speak on that a little bit, one thing I've noticed about the sports teams is when we transition to the postseason and tournament time, Trojan Nation does show out. So having the added cheering section of former players and parents certainly creates that home field advantage that could earn BR a home match or two if the seedings work out well. Foot race on here, but Vieira thought he beat his man, but it's going to be thrown in by Sebastian Romig for Old Rochester. Check that, actually Nolan Blanchette.
These next two games, tonight and tomorrow versus Diamond Regional, are important for Bridgewater, as he mentioned. I mean, if they can come out with decisive wins in those games, they probably end up in the top 10 for the MIAA rankings, which definitely guarantees them a home game. And you know, unlike last season where they were the 45th seed, the last seed in the whole tournament, and had to go to face a tough Arlington team, they might earn a match against a lesser opponent, which gives them a better shot to advance outside of the first round. So important games, even though they're already into the tournament.
So the matchup coming against Diamond here, you mentioned, I believe, tomorrow. How important is it for the BR Trojans to get some early strikes and early scoring on the board here so Gus Lopes maybe can make a couple of substitutions to save some of the better players for that matchup and obviously when we get to the postseason?
Yeah, it's super important. They've had Kevin Weaver in particular the last couple of weeks has been dealing with a knee injury, so it'd be great to be able to get him added rest before the tournament. I will say Diamond, depending on how they do tonight, could need a win tomorrow against the Trojans to get into the tournament. So they're certainly going to be playing for their season, whereas BR really is just looking to put a decisive win on the board against a lesser opponent. I mean, they've played earlier this season. BR got a 5-0 win down in Fall River. So you expect it to be somewhat similar, but you never know this late in the season, especially a team that's desperate for a win to get into the postseason. You never know how they're going to react.
Some physical play here between both squads. Martin's on the throw-in. Pyers back to Martins on the cross, headed away by the Bulldogs. Looks like that's number 3, I believe, Jason McGrath giving chase.
So I think the pressure BR is putting on Old Rochester has really got Old Rochester out of sync. Unfortunately, the only attack they seem to be able to muster at this point is by winning the ball in their defensive third and trying to send a long ball to number 4, Grady Oliveira. But, I mean, that's not a successful long-term strategy.
Nice defense there by Vieira. I thought he had it for a second as that one's cannoned over the crossbar.
That did not miss by much. I think that shot from that far out might have surprised Tester a little bit as he was kind of backpedaling to get back into position. That did not miss the bar by much.
Maybe that's what the Bulldogs need to see here as we approach 16 and a half to go in the first half. Intended for Weaver, but Old Rochester takes over. Nice footwork there by Romig. Knocked away, Weaver. Inside to Morera. Pyers off the touch pass. And that one gets knocked away by Ignacio. At the very least, allow Old Rochester to catch their breath here before the Trojans throw it in. Nice throw, and I think that might have actually gone against the wind, though. As one of the Trojans players falls down. Ignacio, nice defense there by number 6, Trayer.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Old Rochester wins the ball, and then really their only, point of attack is just to try to send a long ball and try to have their top striker, Grady Oliveira, beat the BR defense. But so far, BR has read the play correctly and continues to win the ball and puts Old Rochester back on their heels.
Bulldogs have numbers for the moment.
Oh, good block there. Well done by Nate, just kind of delaying, waiting for the striker to make his move, and then read the play perfectly.
How about that sliding stop by Roderick? Trying to get the Trojans going.
Yeah, BR's shooting themselves in the foot a little bit here. They've tried a couple of through balls to Weaver that they've just kicked right at the Old Rochester defender. Got to put the ball into space and allow Banks or Weaver to use their speed to get by. That's been their bread and butter all season. So
here's Weaver for Pyers on the run. As Weaver makes his way for the goal line. Pyers, nice looking cross pass there. No one home, though. Catching up for the BR Trojans, though. Here's another shot that goes to the right of the net.
Looked like a deflection. Corner for BR. I don't think anyone talked to Anthony there. He had a little bit of time there. I think he could have tried to settle it down and maybe got a better strike on the ball there. But I think he thought he had less time than he did, and he tried for the one-touch side volley, and unfortunately it went well wide.
So this will be the third corner coming up for the BR Trojans. Just speaks to that pressure that you've been talking about here throughout the first half. Headed in, but Old Rochester's going to let that one bounce out.
And it looks like we're going to maybe have a timeout on the field here. Yeah, it looks like Old Rochester or BR taking a timeout. I would assume it's Old Rochester, given the fact that BR's been in their defensive end for probably 98% of this game.
Yeah, and I mentioned those 3 corner kicks. That obviously at some point those corners are going to start clicking there, as I believe that was Trey that had the header opportunity, in the middle of that mess. But if you're just joining us, the lone score of this half is Banks Beckwith, 17-13 into the first half. And we have 13-17 remaining on senior night. Before the match, we had this little pregame ceremony, introductions by Dan Trayer. Good job pulling double duty here tonight.
Yeah, I tried to go as fast as I can. I don't think people really wanted to hear my voice. I was going to sing the anthem too, but that got shot down.
It was either you or Jeff Fowler, so...
The crowd was clamoring for Jeff. I think they wanted to hear Jeff's rendition.
And George Reiser and Richard Smith with the photography, as they've done all season long.
Yeah, they do a fantastic job. I grab those pictures every time they post them. They did much better than my shaky iPhone photos.
They'll be keeping pretty busy here at the regional coming up next month, as the BR football team will be here at the stadium, most likely for 2 playoff round matchups. Last year they had their first home matchup in 5 seasons, defeating Algonquin, but obviously looking to go a little further this time around, as is the BR boys soccer team, which, if you're just joining us, comes into tonight's matchup 13-1-2 on a 3-match winning streak, outscoring the opposition over the last 3, 13-4. And Old Rochester coming in 11-5-3.
Yeah, like I mentioned, three of those 5 losses were in the past, I think, 2 weeks, where they went 0-3-1 in a 4-game stretch. So not the right time to be having a losing streak going into a postseason.
Weaver cuts off the pass as Pyers lost possession.
Yeah, I think BR's actually doing Old Rochester a favor. We've missed on numerous passes here in the first half. Kind of giving the ball right back to him. So if BR can straighten that out, I think you'll see even more pressure on that Old Rochester defense.
As the ball bounces back and forth between these 2 squads, again getting some of their final tune-ups before the postseason. Old Rochester in Division 3, the BR Trojans in Division 1.
I think I mentioned it earlier where BR doesn't sub as much. We're almost 28 minutes into this game. BR is yet to make a substitute.
Here's Ignacio facing 2 Trojans defenders, kicked away.
BR's got to do a better job of not serving that ball up the middle.
As that's going to go into the hands of Testa, who almost has first action of the night. There's been 1 shot by the Bulldogs that went over the top of the net, but besides that, Nathan Testa is just kind of kicked back and relaxed. That goes over the head of Kazir DePina.
Oh, yep, handball there. It is great to see Kazir DePina get extended playing time here in the first half in his final season with the Trojans. Marrero looked to be offsides there.
Looks like a nice setup at first there by Pyers on the cross pass for Weaver. But as you mentioned, Marrero offsides.
Yeah, with Marrero, Weaver, and Banks, we've had a lot of offsides this season, and it's really due to the fact that they all have excellent speed and get behind the defense pretty easily. But sometimes we're just a little too quick on it. So good header win there by Trayer. He's done that all season. As his parent, I'd like to see him head it a little less, but I think he heads the ball about 20 times a match.
Of course, you have a pretty long connection to the team. You had a son last year, I believe, graduating.
Yeah, my son Colin was a senior last year. As you mentioned, we were down and took part in the festivities before the game. He's been to a couple of games this season, supporting his brother and kind of taking in what's been just an absolute great season by the Trojans. I think caught a lot of people off guard. I don't think people expected BR to have 13 wins this year, coming off a year. Last year they had 6. The year before they won, I think, 1 or 2. But to turn it around and have 13 wins with 2 games left to play just speaks to how hard these kids have worked, how long they've been playing together. So hats off to Gus Lopes, the coaching staff, and the kids.
I believe last year we did talk about the coaching staff and the fact that it could be a bit of a process, but obviously with a record of 13-1-2, obviously something is working out well, and the players are believing in the coaching staff.
Yeah, they're running like I said, a tighter substitution pattern this year, really sticking to a core group of kids. The benefit of some of the wins they've had have been big wins where they're able to get some of the kids who haven't had a chance to play a lot into the games. But yeah, in these tight games, you're going to see probably a 13, at most 14 player rotation through
Casio sends it deep. As McGrath kicks it back, turned over to the Bulldogs. And I thought he was going to be called for tripping at the second, but obviously nothing going there.
Yeah, luckily Chris got in there and won that ball, because you're right. If the offensive player pushed that a little bit further ahead, Chris is probably looking at a tripping call and a penalty kick. So good recovery there, and now a corner for Old Rochester.
First corner of the night for the Bulldogs. 8:25 remaining in the first half. BR up 1-0. This will be number 7, Sibley Casey, sending it in. Headed and then knocked away to the right of the net. Looks like the Bulldogs player just sent it to the right.
Yeah, missed it wide, but again, that's the second time tonight BR's had issues marking a man in the middle. They were lucky the first time for an offsides call. That time, Old Rochester just happened to push it wide right. So BR's got to tighten that up. I mean, for as much as they've been dominating, if Old Rochester scores, it's a brand new game. So all that pressure BR's had is for nothing if they give one up there.
2 of the last 3 matches, BR's offense has put 3 goals on the board. Thus far, only 1 thanks to Banks Beckwith. Kicked ahead for Weaver, trying to keep things on sides. Roderick has that knocked away.
Big collision there at midfield.
Trojans picking up the intensity here over the last couple minutes as Harrington makes a diving save. 7 minutes remaining in the first.
Yeah, this is a rarity in high school soccer where you see a team going almost the entire half without a substitution.
Weaver almost trying to play a little bit of defense there in the offensive end.
That's a dangerous ball up the middle. Luckily played away by Old Rochester.
Headed back by Trayer. Pyre's trying to split 3 defenders here.
Somehow stays with it. Not sure how he ended up with the ball through that traffic jam, but he certainly did. Well done there by Vieira.
Nice little ankle breaker by Aiden Vieira. Morera overruns the ball and makes a sliding stop to keep it in for the Trojans.
And then just a bad giveaway. Great hustle, but unfortunately just a bad giveaway. PR does win a throw-in back, so.
Over the last 3 or 4 minutes, it looks like BR is playing a little more physical here in terms of trying to split away from some of the defenders and obviously trying to take the ball away. Roderick tried up for a little Pele kick there.
Yeah. Got to be careful when there's other players in tight spaces like that, because if that foot gets up a little high, it's going to be a foul, and it looks like Old Rochester has won a foul deep in Bridgewater territory. We are going to get our first BR sub of the half. Gus almost went 35. It's going to go 35 minutes without his first sub. Has to be a record, at least as far as the times I've been to these games.
Old Rochester, I think, has made 3 substitutions so far. They have another 3 players on the far end of the field. But a free kick upcoming here for, looks like Tyler Porto at the moment, number 3.
Yeah, under 5 minutes. It's so important for BR to defend this set piece and not give up a cheap goal before the end of the half. They have dominated this first half and need to stay that way.
How about Pyre sliding in for the stop?
Oh, well done. DePina wins a free kick, and he's down. Looks like he got clipped in the ankles there. And he's back up. Back up. Big stop there by the Trojans. Can't give up a goal here in the last 5 minutes, especially in the first half, if they have absolutely spent the majority of time in the Old Rochester 18.
Should be worth noting the night we are recording this. A lot of mist has been coming down, so obviously players dealing with some damp turf, which could come into play on some of these sliding stops.
Oh, great block by Jason there. Headed away by BR.
And knocked away finally by McGrath. Coming up on 3.5 to go in the first half. Collision at midfield.
Yeah, it looks like BR is going to get the bad end of that one. A free kick for Old Rochester. Could have went either way. Although I might be biased. Again, you're going to have a ball served into the 18. BR's got to be ready for this and has to clear it out. Testa's got to come out and get that. Oh, well done by Nate.
Very nice kick there by Porto. And how about Testa just poking the ball away?
Yeah, I don't think Nate could have caught that one, so we made the right decision. Better be safe, punch it over the top, let him have the corner, than try to catch it and have it go through the hands or have him fall backwards. So really well done by Nate Testa. BR's had some trouble with these corners. Like I said, they've let two guys wide open the last two chances, so they have to be better.
Bulldogs' second corner kick upcoming. Wind blowing from left to right across your screen as that gets poked away. Kept alive by the BR Trojans. How about that stop by Testa sliding in?
Absolutely thrown himself in front of that Old Rochester player. Great job by Nate. Winning the free kick. Well done. Really well done.
Number 20, Jack Thompson, almost got the Bulldogs on the board, and now it's Old Rochester on the attack.
Yeah, poor clearance by Nate Treyer there. Got to get the ball higher, especially not up the middle.
Here comes that first substitution you alluded to for the BR Trojans.
Yeah, it looks like I think that's number 16, Luke Negrich.
So we're inside of 2 minutes, so now we're basically at the referee's discretion.
Actually, I think it's freshman Owen Creedon that's actually in as the first sub. Oh,
That
poor
goes off the
clearance.
Side of the foot. One of the Trojans' defenders.
BR looking a little shaky clearing the ball out of their end. Couple of bad clearances in a row, and it's starting to look like the first 5 minutes did, where Old Rochester's starting to get some chances.
As that one's going to go out of the goal line. I almost wonder, if, for the soccer players, obviously they played upwards of 38 minutes so far. Is there a point here where the players are maybe just looking forward to the half and just being able to sit down?
Yes and no. I mean, I think some of the players who play more on the outside, the Kevin Weavers, the bank back with Kevin Morera, who you see sprinting up and down the field, are probably a little more gassed than maybe some of the defenders. So I think it really depends. It being a cool night certainly helps. You're not running out here in crazy heat, so it certainly helps.
Morera had a nice look at that, but knocked away by the Bulldogs.
Yeah, BR was looking for a handball there. Like I said, it's going to be very tough. It's going to have to be a very obvious call in the box for these refs to give a penalty kick. I think BR's gotten maybe 2 this whole season. A lot of whistles going on.
Yeah.
Do we get to halftime, or we have another timeout?
So it looks like all the players are going to their respective benches. Old Rochester going to march off their bench. So I do believe we are at the half here at the regional, the lone tally of the evening. A Banks Beckwith goal, 17-13 into the match on senior night. We'll have second half action coming up after this on BTV.
Turnaround to win it. Got it! Welcome back to the madness.
Back here at the regional, it is senior night. The BR Trojans up 1-0. John Luck along with Dan Trayer. And for the BR Trojans, Dan, it was an interesting first half, but in the goalkeeper area, it has certainly been a very noteworthy first half.
Yeah, I mean, it was BR started out a little slow, picked it up big time in the middle, and then kind of ended the half slow again. So let's hope that they play like they did the middle part of that first half. But certainly a big change here at the half as Nate Tester's not in the net. He's being checked for a head injury. So backup goalie, I believe it's Josh Poro, is the freshman is in the net.
And you were talking right before we came on air once again that BR going to shift things potentially more to just keeping the ball out of that out of that attacking zone for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, you never like to have to go to your backup, but it's why he's there, and I'm sure Gus has spoken to the team about being extra cautious in the defensive end, and BR's just got to do a better job of possessing the ball. They did that, like I said, in the middle part of the half. Their passing wasn't as crisp as it's been at times this season. They would have had probably more chances had the passing been on point, but they just got to pick that up a little bit, and I think they'll be okay.
In the first half, the lone score was by Banks Beckwith, 17-13 into the first half. Got the lone tally of the match. That's going to be kicked back to number 4, Oliveira, for the Bulldogs, who loses it, so Trojans will throw it in. This is number 5, Aiden Vieira. As the mist continues to fall with the wind going, when it does blow, from left to right across the screen. So Trojans would be kicking with the aid of the wind on some of the longer kicks. Here's Pyers at midfield.
Yeah, just another bad pass. BR is just, it seems just a little bit out of sorts in the passing department. I will say they kept the same starting lineup with DePina still in the game. He's gone the whole game so far. So I was thinking we might see BR go back to their normal starting lineup, but Gus giving Kazir a chance to get some playing time on senior night.
Morera trying to give chase, trying to keep things onside. He does. I thought. Looks like it's going to be offside, though.
I think he crossed the goal line, so we got a goal kick. I think his touch was a little heavy and just ran out of real estate.
I was saying before the break, anytime the ball goes to the far side of the net, I start to lose the numbers in the action. It's been a while since I did soccer. As Old Rochester looking to tie things up.
Oh, nice
knocked
play
away by McGrath.
Another poor clearance by Bridgewater. They need to clean this up or they're going to get bitten. There it is again. I mean, the passing has absolutely killed them.
It almost looks like a second ago, number 9, Kevin Morera, was maybe having communication issues with some of his teammates. He didn't really know where he was going. He didn't know where the teammates were going there.
Yep.
As Martin sends this one towards midfield for Pyers off the right knee. Vieira.
Oh, nice
the
forward.
battle. Kicking it ahead off the chest of one of the Bulldog defenders. And that one kept alive. Now the freshman goalkeeper, Joshua Poro.
Oh, that's up the
sends it,
middle.
unfortunately, to a Bulldogs defender, but nice teamwork there as McGrath sent it back.
Bridgewater very fortunate there by a poor touch by the Old Rochester player because that was a golden opportunity. Just, again, passing not on point.
Morera really stepping up the pressure in the second half.
And look at he wins a throw-in. All effort there. Wins the throw-in in the corner. That's that speed I talked about. You can't teach that kind of speed.
Kevin Moreira, a forward, a junior for the BR Trojans. As we've said, the Trojans having 7 seniors celebrate senior night here at the regional before the match against the Bulldogs. Coming up on 5 minutes into the second half. Headed away by Aiden Vieira, and Vieira tumbles down. And see the referees calling for, looks like the coaches here, and the trainer Pete Smith. It looked like as Vieira came down, he started to limp a little bit. I looked down, all of a sudden I looked back up, and he's on the ground.
Yeah, it looks like his teammate is looking at the lower, probably the ankle or calf or...
And much like with Nathan Testa, last thing you need in the last few matches is injuries to your key players before you get set for hopefully a deep playoff run.
Exactly.
I do see Testa at least walking back to the bench, but obviously in a situation like this, Gus Lopes, I'd imagine, will keep him out for the rest of the match. As Vieira able to walk off on his own power, good to see.
Yeah, I see Testa taking a seat on the bench. My guess is he's done for the night.
Looks like number 12 for the BR Trojans, William Safran, checking in for his injured teammate. Again, Aiden Vieira able to get off the field under his own pressure.
Yeah, so Will's normally the starting left back, so he comes in and slots in at his normal position, but Aiden normally playing in the center midfield. That's a big loss. Hopefully he's okay and gets a little treatment on the sideline, and we see him right back in there.
So now Harrington having to deal with the wind, kicked that one, and it just kind of rolled straight back down. Pyers to the far side for Weaver. Actually,
Now that I look at it, I think that was DePina who went off with an injury. I see Vieira out there.
Oh.
So it looks like it was Kazir DePina. Oh! A defensive miscue by Old Rochester. Moreira capitalizes. A huge second goal.
Nice to see that for Kevin Moreira, who has really been the spark plug for the BR Trojans in this second half. He's been everywhere.
Yeah. Good to see his hustle paying off there. He stayed with it, was able to poke it away from the defender. And being down to your second goalie, that second goal is huge at this point. A huge buffer there, but BR can't let up. They got to act like it's still a 0-0 game. They still got to attack. The next goal is important. Obviously, if Old Rochester comes back and get one, it's back to a 1-goal game. So BR can't sleep on a two-goal lead. They got to keep pushing for the third, but at the same time, recognize that you are playing with a backup goalie, so you have to be kind of measured in your attack.
So Moreira with a tally, 10:40 into the second half, makes it a 2-0 match. As this is Vieira. Pyers loses control and it rolls out. So it feels like at this juncture in the match here, even though BR is up 2, Gus Lopes has to kind of think on 3 different tracks here. You have the backup goalie. You may have to change up your game plan now that it looks like Testa is going to be out for the rest of the match, and who knows how much longer. But obviously you're trying to keep your foot on the pedal and keep the offense flowing.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you're really playing for seeding in the state tournament while trying to, keep your core players healthy, win the game on senior night. Yeah, so it's a lot to juggle here.
Bridgewater Rainham coming in to the matchup here, 13-1-2, number 8 in the D1 power rankings. Old Rochester in the D3 side, 11-5-3, number 9 in the D3 power rankings. As Pyers boots it back, but there's that wind coming into play up high.
So BR's got their full core starters back out there, with Zafrin coming in for the injured DePina, so they are back to having their regular 10 field players out there. So for the first time tonight, so it will be interesting to see if they can, steady the match, take control of it like they did earlier, and try to close out the last 32 minutes here.
Looking at the far side of the field, the Trojans bench, DePina still walking back and forth, at least trying to loosen up that leg a little bit. As Trojans again winning some battles, that's number 3, McGrath. Coming out with it on the near side and kicks it back out. There's some of those missed opportunities you've been talking about here over the past number of minutes at least.
Yeah, just the passing is just not sharp tonight. I don't know if it's weather related or whatnot, but this is certainly not how BR has looked or has passed the ball this season. They've been much sharper. So
Herrera had a nice beat on the ball, but kicked back by the Bulldogs. Trojans lose that battle. Back for Ignacio. Sends it back in to the attacking end. Now the freshman goalie maybe getting tested here by Old Rochester, as that one's going to go into the hands of Poro. Oliveira's shot into the hands of the freshman goaltender playing backup here.
I'll tell you, I imagine that's the first shot you want to get. Right at you, make a nice easy save, get yourself settled in and into the match. So luckily that was right at him, and he was able to grab it, not give up a rebound.
Off the side of the foot of McGrath, but again, at the very least, allows BR to get back on defense as we get set for a throw-in by Tucker Cook. Cook in between a couple BR defenders. Old Rochester continuing to apply pressure, but knocked away.
Good block by BR there in their own zone.
Giving chase. How about Vieira stepping on the gas?
Good win here. But again, BR's got to get some numbers up.
Pires trying to go inside the 18, loses possession. It's going to be Harrington trying to calm things back down for the visitors. Bridgewater Rainham has one more match remaining in the regular season, a matchup against Diamond. Coming up the very next day from when we are recording this broadcast, and it's on to the postseason. McGrath fighting for the ball. As both players collide, Oliveira was looking for a foul, but nothing going. Relatively clean match here between both teams.
Right on cue. Right as you say that, there's a foul called right at midfield. No, but you're right. I mean, I think the refs have let the kids play. There really hasn't been much in the way of fouling, so it's been a good, clean game so far.
Just inside of the half hour remaining in this one. Beckwith, 17-13 in the first half. Herrera, 10-40 into the second half. Sent deep. How about that stop? As that continues to get knocked away.
Yeah, shot up. Bridgewater blocked that one.
Looked like that might have been McGrath jumping across that, knocked it down, slowed the ball down.
Yeah, so that's one thing you're going to miss with Testa being out. He has been playing with these defenders all season long. Communications down pat. Now you have a new goalkeeper in there. Freshman goalie may not want to, speak up as much. So you got to really, lock things down and communicate as best you can. Oh!
Just to the left of the net and the backup goalkeeper, but Poro breathing a sigh of relief, as is his coach, Gus Lopes. That was Old Rochester's third corner of the match. Now both teams even with 3 corners apiece.
Yeah, that's been Old Rochester's best scoring chances. Seem to be coming off the set pieces. BR's having a little bit of trouble marking up in the defensive end. Have to tighten that up. When you get into the postseason against some of these top-quality D1 teams, they're going to have players who are not going to miss those opportunities. So something BR has to address.
Ignacio has a nice look for Poro, who pokes it away at the last moment.
BR's on their heels right now. Oh, slide and taken away, but it's still in the middle.
And
Oh!
Horo again diving across, but the shot going to the left of the net. As the heart rate continues to go up and down for the BR Trojans and the Trojans faithful.
BR living dangerously here. I don't think this is how Gus drew this up, and it looks like we're getting a timeout somewhere. A quick timeout. I'm assuming this is a BR timeout, given how many defensive issues they've had over the past 5 minutes. Gus has got to get them straightened out.
So you mentioned the communication for a backup goalkeeper with the teammates that have a set piece.
Mm-hmm.
For those of us who maybe aren't soccer aficionados, what type of communication as a backup goalkeeper do you give your teammates before that kick in?
Yeah, I mean, the goalie's the last line, right? So they can see pretty much the entire field. So they're going to be the ones who are going to be, as balls are coming into the box, if they're coming out, they've got to communicate to the defenders that they're coming out, it's their ball. If a ball's being played into the box, they're coming out. They've got to communicate. Same thing if a defender's running with his back to the play, and he's got a guy on him. It's really on the goalkeeper to kind of let his teammates know what's going on. Just given the fact that they can see everything out there, and it's tough. It's tough for Josh to come in off the bench, ice cold. Hasn't played a ton of minutes this year. Hasn't played a lot with the four guys in the back. So. It's a tough ask, but it's got to get done because right now Old Rochester is pouring on the chances, and it's only a matter of time. BR can't keep living this dangerously before one goes in the back of the net.
This was almost what the start of the match looked like when Testa was in net. It was Old Rochester with a number of great scoring opportunities, but eventually the tide turned and the offense clicked. But now out of the timeout, looks like it was a BR timeout according to the scoreboard, so now Old Rochester can stop the clock once.
BR's got to get it back and possess the ball. That's their key. It's a good ball over the top to Weaver.
Kick back for some defense there. Vieira let it fly as Weaver slides back in.
BR's got to get back to using their speed. In every game they've played this year, they've had a big advantage on the outside with Beckwith, with Weaver, with Moreira up top. They got to get back to that.
As McGrath loses that one, goes off of Old Rochester, though they are going to call it for the Bulldogs. It's going to be Tucker Cook throwing in again.
And good news on the BR side. It looks like DePina's actually okay and going to come back in the match. Lope's really giving him a lot of time, playing time here on senior night. Good to see.
As Weaver flies in.
Handball by somebody. Old Rochester handball, BR free kick.
Two of the last three Trojans matches, 3 goals on the board right now, a 2-0 advantage. As Pyers, as that pass go a little too far for him. As that goes by a Trojan defender now. Here's Foster taken off with a nice look at the net, but poked away at the last moment.
Yeah, I think it looked like he was a little indecisive about whether to put his head down and go to goal or try to feed it across to a teammate. And again, BR fortunate.
As Moreira saved possession there for the Trojans. He's been the MVP of the second half, and we still have 25 minutes plus to go.
Yeah, his pace is tough to deal with. He doesn't ever really seem to slow down or get tired, so that really wears on the opposing backs, having to chase him around. I'd like to see Poro start punting the ball. I'm not a big fan of these throws into traffic, especially given the amount of time Old Rochester has spent in our defensive end. I think Gus would be much happier to have that ball outside of our defensive third.
Of course, if you're just joining us, this is the backup goalkeeper, Nathan Testa, taken out of the match at the half. So the freshman goalie in net for the BR Trojans.
Looks like DePina for Roderick here, and we may be getting another substitution soon for BRs. It looks like they got Isaiah Hunt warming up as well.
Looks like it may actually be Zafran coming out.
Oh, it is, yep.
The original substitution. I think Roderick was just trying to look away from the bench so Lopes couldn't get him off the field.
It worked. It worked. He's still out there. I'd like to see BR slow the pace of play down here. There's no reason to rush. You've got a 2-goal lead. So you go quick, and now we're turning the ball back over. Try to slow this pace of play down, because right now Old Rochester's winning the ball. They're stuffing it down BR's throats down their own defensive end. If you can take the air out of the ball and just kind of possess it and work it around, it'll A, kill the clock, and B, kill the morale of Old Rochester if you're able to kind of possess it. But we can't just keep giving it back to them.
Here's Weaver, kicks it across for Beckwith. Lets it fly, and once again there for the save is Harrington, who had to slide everywhere during the first half, has been able to kind of relax in the second half. It almost feels like the next 8 or 9 minutes of this match are the tipping point for both of these squads.
Yeah, you're looking, the next goal is going to be so important. If BR gets it, my guess is Old Rochester pretty much folds up the tent at 3-0. But if Old Rochester gets it, a 2-1 game is a brand new game. The era.
Almost could have been a field goal kicker for the football team, as that one goes out with 23:09 remaining.
Yeah, you don't see many high school kids score from 50 yards out these days, so. Gus has made a change. He's got Weaver playing on the right side now and Beckwith on the left. Part of that led to that last opportunity by Banks. He had her on his right foot, which is by far his weaker foot. Just doesn't get the same amount of power.
Up ahead, and how about Poro jumping in front before anything can happen, as it looks like, well, I thought for the moment Lopes was going to make another substitution, but that one goes out to the far side. I think he's only made 2 in this match, and it's been revolved around the same players.
Yep. Great job there by Poro. That's what we were talking about earlier. As a backup goalie, you're coming in ice cold. You don't want to make a mistake and cost your team a goal. Sometimes you get a little tentative on balls like that where it's coming in on you. He came right out and won the ball just very decisively, and that's what BR needs. That's what they need out of him.
Roderick back in. There's that man again, Morera.
Yeah, tracking all the way back. I mean, he's 40, 50 yards away from his normal position.
And there's that kick you're looking for from Poro to send it back away. McGrath turns it back.
Yeah, Treyer and McGrath have done a nice job in the middle limiting those opportunities. Oh, Treyer with the works out. He flubbed it, and the Old Rochester player thought he was going to get hit with the ball and turned his head, and luckily for Nate that ball just fell to him. We'll be talking about that on the car ride home.
Good movement as the sliding tackle goes there. So we mentioned you had a son last year that played on the team. Did he have any commentary for your commentary in that match, or?
They watched it. They watched the broadcast. They said I didn't make a fool of myself, so good enough. I mean, I guess from teenage kids, that's a compliment these days. So, and now a first substitute, Isaiah Hunt, is in the match. He took out Roderick in the center midfield.
Kicked along and sent back the other way by Porto. So BR will keep it alive on possession.
Yeah, it's tough to send balls in the air through the middle. Tyler is a big, strong defender. He's going to win the majority of those balls. BR's best chance at the third goal is attacking through Beckwith and the Weaver out front. Not out front, on the wings, using their speed to create chances. Floating the ball in the middle is not going to produce a lot of chances with Tyler Porter on the back.
That one sent from the 20-yard line back to the 25, so a nice deep kick there by the Bulldogs.
There it is again. BR, just the passing is just not there. Oh, DePina with the nice little footwork.
DePina once again coming off of an injury a little while ago. Looks like he's doing all right. That pass intended for Weaver, though, cut off. Inside of 20 minutes remaining in this one. Both players making an attempt for the ball. Though knocked away. Looks like that was Trayer.
Nice play by Nate. Still going to talk about that flub kick on the way home, though. If he helps keep a clean sheet, maybe we let it slide. Love to see BR get a shutout here if they can hold on. Especially with the backup keeper situation, you'd love to see them put a zero that force Old Rochester to put up a goose egg.
If the result holds here, BR would improve to 14-1-2, and that kind of brings into question what we talked about earlier as far as players potentially taking the game off tomorrow just in terms of trying to keep the health. We saw DePina go down. We obviously saw Testa go down before the first half ended, so a win could certainly be very crucial for Gus Slopes just in terms of coaching.
Yeah. The issue with tomorrow is, again, if you play your non-regulars and fall to a team like Diamond, who's far down the Division II rankings, that's going to have a serious knock-on effect into your power rankings and slide you further down into possibly 20 seed, 21 seed, which might put you into a play-in game. So, yeah, a loss to someone like Diamond, even a tie against someone like Diamond, really is going to have a knock-on effect on your strength of schedule.
I will say that's the one thing I hate about the power ranking system in any of the sports. In some cases, you can help it, in terms of your seeding, but in most cases, it depends on what other teams do and who other teams face.
Yeah, BR actually, that's a great point. BR actually got a great boost to their power rankings this week. A couple of weeks ago, I think 2 weeks ago, BR went up to Attleboro, got a 1-1 tie in a fantastic match against a Division I opponent. Attleboro turned around and beat the number one team in Division II, Oliver Ames, yesterday, 3-1. So that actually helps BR in terms of strength of opponents. So it can turn.
As Trayer kicks that one out with 17:30 to go.
Oh, yep, there's a clear shove in the back.
As we mentioned, we're still kind of in that tipping point. I think maybe another 6 or 7 minutes in terms of maybe facing Old Rochester's best shot.
Yeah, I think that was a silly foul by Trayer there. I mean, defending set pieces isn't our strength here, and just giving him that opportunity. I'd like to have seen him just hold up the defender there and
over the head and off the side of the net and kick in.
Yep, just what we talked about. Right on cue. Ball floated in the net. We just didn't defend it well, and it's in the back of the net. It looks like BR is going to bring a couple of subs back in. Roderick's coming back in. It looks like Will Zaffron's coming back. No, that's not Zaffron. It's Owen Creedon again, the freshman, going to come in and give Weaver a break. So Weaver and Hunt out, Roderick and Creedon in, but 16, 17 minutes left. It's a brand new game here. And I got to say, all the momentum seems to be with Old Rochester at the moment. I mean, outside of BR getting that Marrera goal, we really haven't done much this second half. So
23-11 into the second half. That is Brendan Foster with the first tally of the night for the Bulldogs, and for the Trojans, they hope it's their only tally of the night.
Great step there by McGrath, winning the ball, winning a free kick. But BR can't play defensive for the next 15, 16 minutes. I mean, you're just inviting Old Rochester to come and try to get the equalizer. They have to try to get the third goal.
Sent deep by Martins. Giving chase was DePina.
That's a dangerous ball across the middle by Tyler Porto, especially given the fact that he knows Marrera's got that type of speed that he could cut that off. Another giveaway.
Traer fighting back, though, and
He won it back.
kicks away. Here's Beckwith playing along the far side, along with his fellow number 1 player.
I thought that could have been a call right there that BR would have won. It looked like Banks got taken down.
Tapina back for Vieira. And Vieira's kick is going to go high and over everything with about 15 minutes remaining.
I don't mind the shooting. It's just in the right spot. That wasn't a high percentage chance by Aiden. I would have liked to see him maybe serve the ball across. Again, another BR giveaway. McGrath's going to cut it off. Well done. But that's the type of play we talked about where McGrath's got his back to the goal, back to the play. It's on Poro to kind of communicate with him and let him know if he's got anyone coming on, if he's got time to play the ball. Those are the things the goalie needs to be doing in terms of communication.
Just kind of guessing here. It almost feels like BR has been outshot 5 to maybe 2 in this second half. BR really applying no pressure. As I say that, it looks like they had a good shot as Marrero was giving chase, but that one sent back to the bench area. And Bulldogs will have possession.
Yeah, this has not been BR's best offensive half. It looks like those 5-minute spurts in the first half have turned into almost 27 minutes worth of Old Rochester.
Marrero lost the ball for a moment. That one bounces off Bobby Calder's leg, and that looked like it was about to roll out, but Calder keeping possession there.
Oh, a steal. Another defense. Oh!
Knocked away inside the 18.
Beckwith tried to feed it in front to Marrero, and Porto was there to knock it away. I'd almost like to see Banks that close to the net, even though it wasn't a great angle, take a hit there. He was inside the 6. Again, nice job, Jason, coming over for the help.
That was number 20 for the Trojans. Owen Creedon giving chase.
Sounds like the intensity in the stands is picking up. I think some of the old Rochester fans are trying to spur their team on for the equalizer here.
On the far side, nice footwork. That gets sent back, though Tapina there to save it.
Yeah, I think BR's best chance is to keep the ball away from where Porto's playing in the back.
This one sent deep and into the hands momentarily of Harrington. They'll roll out.
Not the best touch by Vieira there, knocked away.
At the very least, Martins will slow things back down for the home squad. Creedon lost it. Just passes going too long of the intended targets, at least on the last 3 or 4 I saw.
Yeah, I mean, I've mentioned it a couple of times. I mean, this has probably been by far their worst passing performance of the season. I mean, too many passes are just being played either away from their player or right to Old Rochester. Again, there's another one right up. Are we going to get a tip there? Nope, ref didn't see a deflection. It's going to be Old Rochester ball.
So let's maybe flip this around a little bit here. Is this maybe what BR needs just in terms of Gus Slope being able to drill it back into his players that, you know what, games aren't going to come to easy to us. We're not going to go out there and outscore opposition 13-4. We need to be crisper on those passes from the end to the middle.
Yep. Especially as you get into the tournament. No disrespect whatsoever to Old Rochester, but the teams BR are going to play in the Division I tournament are going to be better than what they're seeing tonight. And if they have this type of performance where they're continually giving the ball away, they're not defending set pieces well, they're going to be in big trouble. So, yeah, I mean, I think this certainly gives Gus a lot to talk to the team about. Hopefully they hold on in the next 11, 12 minutes here to get at least get a win out of it. But, yeah, I mean, he'll have a lot of things to discuss with the team. I mean, those are the two big ones, passing, defending, and the defending set pieces has been bad tonight.
Timeout on the field called by Old Rochester. Get caught up on the scoring. It was Banks Beckwith with the lone tally in the first half, 17-13 into the match. Then we go to the second half. It was Kevin Morera who was flying everywhere in the second half. 10:40 in to make it 2-0 BR. The Old Rochester would answer back thanks to Brendan Foster, 23-11 in. And right now the Trojans and the Trojans faithful just trying to count down the last 11:45 in this match. And they're doing it with a backup goalkeeper in Joshua Poro, who he's been tested. He gave up one goal, but for a backup goalkeeper coming in with really no notice, doing pretty well in net.
Yep. And it looks like Gus has gone back to his original season-long starting lineup. DePina's out, Creedon's back, Weaver's back in for Creedon. So you'll have Vieira slide back into his normal center midfield role. Will Zaffron's back in at left back. Yeah, I mean, obviously a case of Gus trying to hold on here, bringing his core team back in with 12 minutes left.
Tucker Cook to throw the ball in. Clock continues to wind down to 11:40. Throw goes against a slight breeze, headed back out.
Yeah, there was a case of communication right there. Jason McGrath was behind Chris Martins, could have called him off because he had a cleaner way to head it. Communication didn't happen, and Chris heads it out of bounds for another dangerous throw-in. If you've got a kid who can throw the ball into the box, this is essentially a corner kick. And there it is.
Nice throw, headed back. And poked away by the Trojans for the moment.
Oh, don't want to create a foul there. We've already given up one goal on a set piece.
Here's Romig on the near side. And lost it. It goes off his foot.
BR needs to slow this down. They need to slow it down. There's no reason to rush a throw in here. Old Rochester has all the momentum. Great job by Roderick. Good win there. That's a throw in again for the Trojans. Again, no rush.
Looks like Martins knows that as he takes a couple extra seconds on the throw-in.
Oh, it's going to be dangerous here. Treyer backing up, wins it, and a handball on Treyer. Oh, it's going to be a free kick. Dangerous spot from the 20-yard line. So basically 30 yards exactly from goal.
Trojans have been playing with fire in this second half. They got burned once.
That's just a bad bounce. They got bit by a bad bounce there. It happened to 50-50 ball in the air. It hits the turf and bounces right up off his hand.
Porto looks like trying to direct traffic a little bit from the net, getting ready for this free kick by Porto.
I never understand this. The refs always have trouble counting 10 yards on a football field. You're playing on a big ruler. I don't understand it. Porto's going to have this ripped.
Porto boots it into the hand of the freshman goalkeeper playing backup.
What a nice save. That ball had some serious pace on it. That's a great job by Josh Porto there with the save. Well done. That easily could have been 2-2.
And the kick back almost to midfield. Old Rochester trying to get the momentum back, though.
Blocked by Pierce. Well done. Again, the BR Trojans on their heels here. Oh, well done. Good win. Oh. All right, they've cleared the zone.
Inside 9 minutes to go.
Yeah, it just seems like this is going to be how the next 9 minutes goes, where you're going to have Old Rochester trying desperately for the equalizer. BR going to just be playing defense for 9 straight minutes.
Back to Casey.
Oh, blocked again by Trey. Good block.
Sent back by Roderick to Morera at midfield. Now the Weaver on the near side.
This would be huge. Beckwith now. Even if he holds. Sent back out. Vieira's going to win it. Would love again to see BR maintain some possession here in the offensive end. Have a service into the middle. But again, there you go again. Right back sent at Tyler Porto. He's going to win that ball almost every single time.
That time sent back by Cook. Now the Bulldogs trying to return it back. Here's Ford and sliding stayed there by Weaver, though.
Martin's too much dribbling. Don't want to get caught dribbling in your own defensive half, especially only up a goal.
And Piers will kick that out with 7.5 minutes to go in a 2-1 situation.
I think we're going to see a frantic 7.5 minutes. Old Rochester's going to press for a goal. A tie against BR helps them in their strength of schedule, so
I will say last season when we called senior night, it came down to a penalty kick in the last couple minutes, so some excitement here on BTV when it comes to BR boys soccer. Throw in by Cook.
BR wins it again, but can't clear the zone.
And Weaver will boot it back out from Herrera.
It's almost like you're going to see BR playing hockey here, where we're clearing the zone and sending long balls into the opposing zone. And there's another needless foul by BR. There's no reason whatsoever for a foul there. We had won the ball. A little over-aggressive by Zaffron there. So let's see if BR learned anything from their last set piece that ended up in the back of their net.
Free kick upcoming here for Garrett Ignacio, a senior for Old Rochester.
You got to expect he's looking for number 3, Tyler Porto here.
Ignacio ahead. Headed back by the Trojans.
Well done, and look at here's the speed of Morera. He should take this ball as fast as he can towards that corner.
Herrera kicking it ahead, and Cook will send it back for Old Rochester.
Good win.
Here's Weaver on the right wing. Martin's going to slow it down.
And that should be a BR. No, off of BR there again. Poor passing results in Old Rochester getting the ball back.
Clock down to 5.5 minutes. Morera, the MVP in the second half, again making a difference as Martins tries to send it deep for the Trojans.
Yeah, it's just been all effort plays by Kevin. Just putting himself in position to put pressure on the defense. And here's Beckwith. He's going to have a rip.
Beckwith lets it fly. Harrington at possession as Morera, I think, tried to send it back in, but Owen Harrington has saved at least 5 goals in this match.
Yeah, that ball looked like it might have rebounded and gave Morera a chance, and I don't know if he just couldn't get a good enough foot on it or what, but it ended up in Harrington's hands.
Inside of 5 minutes, the scoreboard stops at 5, so now we almost play at referee's discretion. Almost adds the intensity of this matchup. 2 playoff-bound teams.
Send it to the corner. Oh, good ball!
Sends it deep. BR looking for a third goal as that goes over everything. Beckwith has had some nice looks on that far side.
That was a great chance. A great ball by Treyer from distance. Banks had it on his left foot, which is where he wants it, and I thought it might have been deflected. There's no argument by the Trojans. Beckwith's actually going to get a sub out here for the last 5 minutes. I'm a little baffled by that sub, but they're bringing in number 22, Kean McKinnon, who's kind of similar to, I don't want to say skill-wise, but Morera, but he is a hustle player. He will run. He's got a great motor, so maybe they're just looking for someone to come in and be able to put pressure on the defense by sheer speed and hustle.
Martin's really stepping up leadership-wise over the past few minutes as Morera taking him inside the 18, poked away as it bounces out.
Yeah, Harrington came out and was kind of in no man's land. He came out thinking he was going to get to the ball. Morera got there first, and I'm not sure why we're stopping the clock here just because the ball went out of bounds. I mean, ball goes out of bounds. You got to go get it.
Again, inside 5 minutes to go. I'd imagine we're approaching probably 2 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, there hasn't been really any stoppages. We had the one injury to DePina, so you might have a couple of extra minutes if they didn't stop it. And again, BR with fouling there for no real reason. The old Rochester player is 70 yards away from net. He's got his back to it. He's not in a dangerous spot there. Again, a little too over-aggressive.
Free kick from the 42-yard line. A booming kick.
This is trouble. Good header away. BR's got to win this next ball.
That one rolls away into the area of Romig. Romig inside. Poke back. One-on-one situation. And another big save by Joshua Porro.
I give Josh a ton of credit for what he's done here tonight. He has been decisive. He hasn't looked tentative, which you could get from somebody coming in ice cold off the bench that probably had zero expectation that he was going to get into tonight's game. That was huge for BR right there.
So again, Old Rochester applying the pressure, but how about Vieira cutting off the pass and sending it back out?
Yeah, BR's going to just play defense for 5 minutes here, and hopefully they can hold on. McGrath, good step. It's on his foot.
That one goes off the edge of the defender's foot. And again, Porro sliding in for his third crucial save in this second half.
Porro needs to take as much time, but this actually works out. Weaver needs to go, send it deep.
And he does just
This is going to be a problem.
Morera looking to go ahead.
He missed
goes to the right of the net, and Harrington.
There it is, the speed. That's what they do. That's what they look for. They look for Morera's speed. If he gets that on net, anywhere on net, it's in the back. Great ball up the field, though, by Weaver.
Vieira ahead to Roderick.
Put it in the corner. That's out of bounds. That's a BR throw. Yep, you can see Lopes telling people to slow it down. Beckwith back in for McKinnon. Lopes is telling them to take their time and slow this game down. Ideally, you'd throw it to Banks in the corner, and he'd try to hold it there as long as he possibly could. Referee checking his time. I think he's kind of stopping the clock as BR looks to be in zero rush to get this ball back in play.
As you mentioned, Beckwith trying to play keep away near the corner. But Old Rochester will take possession. Perhaps their final offensive rush upcoming. Pierce turns it over as it's sent back towards midfield.
Yep. Send him back that way. Martin should cut that off. Well done. Little heavy on the touch, but he wins it again. That's a tough call. That's a really, really tough call for the ref to make. Chris did an absolutely good job of winning that ball. BR's, there has to be a minute, maybe less left. This might be Old Rochester's last chance. They need to win this first ball.
Sent in and sent back out by the Trojans. Morera giving chase, as is Calder.
So that play, Banks Beckwith tracked back and was able to poke it away from his man.
Morera slamming on the gas pedal. Has it poked away. Pierce tries to keep it in for the BR Trojans. Roderick, that'll go out, but at the very least kills off a little more clock.
They look to be checking their watch. This referee's got his whistle in his mouth. I think we got to be at time.
As you mentioned, only really one stoppage to think of as Morera tries to end the night, collides with the goalkeeper.
And that's it. That's the way the game's going to end. BR's going to escape this game with a 2-1 win. Good to see Morera checking on the goalkeeper. That was a 50-50 ball. They went in hard at it. Nothing nefarious there. But, hey, big tip of the cap to Josh Porro coming in and playing net for the Trojans.
Roderick collapses to the turf, as does Pierce. Just a physically exhausting matchup here between two playoff-bound teams, and you could get the feel of that. But on senior night, Dan, at the end of the night, it was Joshua Porro, the freshman goalkeeper coming in to back up, and Kevin Morera, that were really the big players for this team on senior night.
Yeah, no doubt. Kevin's hustle up front led to the second goal, the eventual game winner. His speed puts a lot of pressure on the defense, and Josh did what he had to do in the net. He made good saves on some crosses. He was decisive, so great job by him. I mean, he's got to feel great coming in and helping this team get a win. 14 wins for the Trojans. I don't think anybody had that on their bingo card to start the season.
So BR improves to 14-1-2. Old Rochester will fall to 11-6-3 thanks to a 2-1 victory for the home team. The BR Trojans win on their senior night. Thank you so much for watching. For Dan Trayer, I'm John Luck.